So you finally got a badass mix going on that you really like. Everything is nice and wide. All your levels are good. Nothing is overcompensating for another thing. You have really good highs, really good lows. Your compression is nice and set. But there's still that one little thing that's missing. You have no emotion. You have no power. You have no punch. But even though everything is nice and tight, your mix is still just bland, boring, and dull. Just like your girlfriend's cooking. So I'm gonna show you how to bring your mix back to life with all kinds of emotion with Hey, what's up? It's David from TrueBlastMixing.com, and today I'm going to show you how to liven up your mix with automation that creates an emotional impact and delivers a nice flow to your mix. If this is the first time watching my channel, thank you, bienvenido, welcome. I teach you how to become a better at-home mixing and mastering engineer so that you can become better at your mixes. And also, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified every single week when I drop a new video. So with that being said, let's get right into it.
Okay, so what I have right here is a small session. I have some drums, some bass, and some guitars. And I have that grouped to a VCA. Why have I grouped it to a VCA as opposed to a regular bus fader or subgroup? The VCA fader is only used to control volume. It's like the remote control on your TV. When you increase the volume, it goes up. When you decrease it, it goes down. And that's exactly what a VCA fader is. It only controls the level of what you're sending into it. So it's perfect for automation. But oh shit, hold on, that was my phone. My bad. Totally unprofesh. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But you might be wondering, why don't you just use a bus or a subgroup? Well, unlike the VCA fader that just controls the levels, subgroups allow you to control multiple channels at once. It's exactly like the VCA because you're controlling a whole bunch of channels at once, but where they differ, and they differ greatly, is with the inserts, sends, and the panning. VCAs don't have any panning, inserts, or sends. The way that I use my VCAs is when I'm finally done with dialing in the sound that I want with my entire mix, and then I just add a little salt and pepper to bring it alive, to give it that dynamic emotional range that we have heard on countless records that we love. And then if you want to add like little ear candies or go really crazy with the reverbs or the delays and create some kind of weird, crazy, extra extravagant effect, then I'll automate the sends, the inserts, and the subgroup for the effect to achieve that. Because I always send my effects like reverbs, delay, and all that funky stuff to a aux sends or a subgroup. I don't like to keep my effects on that single channel. For example, if I have one vocal, I don't have my reverb or delay on that. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. If I'm mixing, I want to have every single aspect of that mix in my control. Every single knob, every single button, every single signal I want to control, because when it comes to the automation process, then I can add more dynamics, more width, more whatever it is that I'm thinking about, and it makes your mixes much better. All right, so let's get to the example. As you can see, all my instruments are grouped to their respective VCA: drums, bass, and guitar. And I've selected a certain part of the song where I know that a little bit of buildup is going to work very well. But very important, before I get to the actual example, you can do whatever it is that you want with your automation, your music, or track. You can go batshit crazy if you want and have the weirdest effects, the weirdest buildups, the loudest, you know what I'm saying. But automation works best is when you add small increments to your track and it's in flow. You can't go from having a really good balanced track to all of a sudden having a boom 8 plus dB of gain and then crazy automation, crazy delays, crazy reverb. You know, you go insane because it's just not gonna go well with the track. The listener's gonna be like, what the, what just happened? And, the track isn't going to have that flow. It's gonna have a negative emotional impact of what you want. Automation should be like a roller coaster. you've been on it a whole bunch of times, but you still get excited, you still get anxious, there's like drama, there's fear, even though it's all good, but that brings it out of you. Just looking at the track or listening to a track brings all those good emotions in, and you finally want to get on and, or in this case, listen to your favorite tracks because of the automation, because of the flow. Even though you've been on it a bunch of times and you know what to expect, you still get all those emotions like the first time you got on. All right, so here we go. Let's listen to this part of the song without automation. So it sounds pretty good so far. The band is legit. They're nice and tight. They're rocking. They have a really good, powerful, early mid 90s kind of grungy alternative rock sound. And I like that a lot. But it's just still there. It's like, okay, sounds good. But what I want is to right before when the second guitar comes in with the chicka chicka chicka, I want that to explode just enough to where you hear it and you just dive into it a little bit more. I want to add a little more punch, a little more attitude to the main chorus riff, the because the song basically it's setting itself up to have attitude, to have character, to have that explosion when the chorus comes in. So you as a mixing engineer or the one that's recording this band has to be very aware of that. So what we're going to do now is grab the VCA fader and put it into touch mode. Why touch mode? Because I like the levels that I have right now. They could possibly change, but for right now, it's where I like them. And since my VCA fader is at unity, this is where I know that the optimal levels for the entire mix sits at. And what touch mode does is that once you play it back and you touch the fader, no matter where you move it up or down or how many times, it's always going to go back to the original spot where you have it before the playback and automation. This might take a couple of tries to get right, but usually I don't want to go higher than zero point 0.2, zero point 0.4 dB because remember, you want the flow of the track and the automation to go together. It's very subconscious, it's very subliminal. You want them to just freely go in there without interrupting the listener. So let's try it out. Oh, and before I forget, the plus zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.4 dB gain is only for this track. I'm not saying that it's the end all be all, like that's how high you should go. No, different automation levels and effects go for their tracks only. So if you have a certain amount of energy for one track, the dB is going to be completely different. I'm just talking about my track right here and right now. So there's many ways to write automation. The way that I like to do it is I like to listen to the track, write the fader, and then replay it again, and then see if the flow and the movement of the track is working well. So I usually play a few times with each corresponding fader, and then listen to the final product. You can write automation whichever way you want. You can do it the way that I do, or you can grab the pencil and actually write in automation, or whichever way you like. So I'm gonna do this a couple of times so you can see how I do it, and then we're gonna listen to the before and after with that little bump in gain. So let's try it out.
So there you have it. Now you have a better understanding of how automation can help you greatly if you still feel that there is something missing in your mix after you dialed in the correct tone that you want. Also, don't forget to comment down below what you learned in this video today, because you remember 50% of that information if you at least write it somewhere or type it or whatever. I really want you guys to get down this information really well so that you don't have any more trouble in the future with it. And like always, if you're a local band or an artist who wants to mix absolutely for free, you can hit me up in the links down below. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, and I'm constantly in contact with the customers or clients that I do have with there a lot. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell for weekly videos every Sunday. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys later. True Blast out.